Well, hello everyone. So, you know what? Just turn it around. There we go. Let's see if I can get this. So, I went and had actually a couple things happen. This morning I went to go look at a door that I sold that someone else installed. And they took a single door and cut it out and put in a door and two side lights, which is nice and all, but when they reframed it and did everything, the whole thing is crooked, and they're like, we can't understand why the door doesn't lock. I was like, because the whole entire opening is out of level. It's out of square, it's out of parallel, and the side lights, they're supposed to be, when you look at it like 1, 2, 3, it's supposed to be straight, and they're all like crooked at the bottom. So I told them the best thing to do is just start over, take everything out, get the bottom level, and just completely start over on the door install, because it's not going to be able to be fixed if you're putting a square door in a trapezoid opening. Well, something's going to have to give, and the opening ain't moving. The opening doesn't have adjustment in it. So anyways, I went and checked that out this morning. Then I had quite possibly one of the weirdest things ever done to me in my life. So I've been dealing with kidney problems for the past 6 years, and every other year, it seems like I'm having kidney stones right before Christmas. And a few weeks ago, I was, I'm trying to think of a way to say it, not to gross anybody out, but I was having some peeing problems, and it was red coming out. So anyways, I went in the emergency room, and they're like, oh, you're having a kidney stone. I was like, well, I feel no pain. And they're like, well, it's a possibility it can happen. It's rare, but So anyways, we're just double checking, crossing, all the T's and dotting all the I's, and making sure the J has a little thing at the bottom. And so they decided, okay, today we're going to put a camera and look inside your bladder. I'm like, all right, well, how do you get there? Well, the only way to get to the bladder is where all the bladder stuff comes out at, so I forget the name of the camera. I think it's called cystoscopy or something. I can't say the word. There's certain words in the English language, but I just can't. I'm not, I'll come up with it. It was a pee hole camera. That's what it was called. And I probably should not have looked at it before they did it, because it is not a small device. It's a significant thing to be going in there. So now it's not painful, and but it was probably it was uncomfortable. It definitely, but it was more weird uncomfortable than painful uncomfortable, because it's not a normal feeling. So, but they did that, and it still feels weird as hell. Like there's after effects. Again, not painful, everything's fine. They checked everything out, and they said everything's clear. So he says either one of two things happen. Either one, I do have nerve damage in my kidney to where, if they go through certain spots, where kidney stones go through certain spots, it may not cause me pain. I'm like, yeah, I like that. They said, or I may have crystalline structures which haven't formed into stones yet. They're like baby stones or micro stones. And it says it's possible I could have passed them and not felt it. And I was like, well, do you just not feel them completely? Because at no point did I ever have pain. They're like, well, usually you feel uncomfortableness. I was like, so anyways, as far as all the past month and me dealing with emergency rooms and all the stuff that has been going on, let's not even talk about all the stuff going on with my heart, but that part has at least been ruled out. And he says I got 23 or 25, I forget, I already forgot what it is. I got over 20 kidney stones ready to go right now. So luckily, my doctor, she gave me some pain medicine. She says, okay, and he told me what to look for. He says, if it's this or this, you don't have to go to the emergency room, but if it turns this color, go to the emergency room. I says, okay. And he says over the next few days, I may pee a different color just because of what happened today. He says, so don't get freaked out. I was like, all right. I was like, I'm not. Well, the funniest thing is the lady that had to do all the prep work. She was like, I'm going to take my hand and I'm going to do this and I'm going to do that. I was like, ma'am, I know you're going to be rubbing around all, y'all going to be down there for a minute. Just do your thing. You don't have to tell me a play-by-play. I was like, I know you're going to be touching everything I got down there, so just don't even worry about it. She laughed. But I was like, you ain't going to hurt my feelings, because, But it was a truly weird experience. In my mind, one, thinking of things before I went there, and number two, after seeing the device. If you ever want to look up a bladder camera, it's a cystoscopy or something like that camera. They're like $8,000 to $14,000, by the way. I did not know. So, but yeah, it's a significant looking device, and it's like, and it's not. It's not a little tiny camera. It's a freaking. When I saw it, I was like, oh shit. But no, everything's good. Medically, I'm kind of cleared. So, I'm still going to have issues. I'm still going to get old. I'm still fat and out of shape. I'm still all the other things. Although less fat. I am very, very close to breaking a record. I can't remember. It's been probably 20 years since I've been under 250, and I was 251 and point something yesterday. So I'm hoping, by the end of the week I'll be down at 250, and I'm trying to break 250 so damn hard, and I'm still eating. It's not like I'm just really dramatically changing what I'm eating. So, and then on top of all the other stuff I've done today, I've also reinstated my corporation, which I did not know. I reinstated my license, reinstated my corporation. I got to reinstate the workman's comp because I lapsed on all that stuff just for a few months, but then I got to pay some significant fines for doing that too, but it is what it is. And I'm making sure everything's legit because, as well as reinstating creating a new business. So I figured, let me go ahead and just get everything done since I got to go downtown. So I got to do a little prep work before I go downtown, and that's what I'm going to be working on the rest of the day, as well as recovering from my weird experience. So, but yeah, that was interesting. So, but I'm going to run up to the insurance company and tell them about my cracked windshield, see if they're going to fix it, and then get some paperwork for the corporation. And I'm also, they passed a new law, which they almost passed two of them. I'm a little pissed they didn't do it last night. But they passed a new law that I found out that if you have a commercial lease, that you don't have to pay sales tax on it anymore. So when when one of my corporations rents the second home, I'm not going to have to pay sales tax on it. So that's like, now I can make the rent whenever, I was basing the rent off what the sales tax would be, but now that I can do that, and I can also sublease my warehouse to a second corporation, which I've already talked to my landlord, and he says, as long as it's within the scope of the zoning, I can do it. So I'm going to be doing some funny stuff with the lease, all legal, but I'm going to make everything to where it needs to be. So it's going to be an interesting time starting up this new business and making sure that, it's like I want to make money, but I don't want to make too much money because I want to stay in my tax bracket. So, but I'm going to be doing a lot of stuff here in the next few days. I have been in the warehouse. I was in there till 8 o'clock last night. And that big, when was it, like 13, 14 days ago, I uploaded a video talking about, like, I'm not a hoarder or something like that, or I forget, or I'm an entrepreneur collecting. That's what the title is. And you can see what the warehouse looks like. It is absolutely just loaded down with stuff, and that's all the stuff that came from the storage unit. So, but what I'm gonna, I went in there last night, did a load of laundry, and I cleared out about 20% of it. So, and I pulled a door out, which I'm going to be building that and installing that. In fact, I got to call him today. But yeah, it's things are happening. You know, got done with a lot of work yesterday. Today's kind of a rest day, and I'm actually organizing my closet and getting like the t-shirts with the t-shirts and the, you know, different things with different things. So I'm just trying to get everything, because I have a significant closet. Like I got, I think 3 double racks, a single rack, and then like 2 12-foot clothes rods and like 6 dressers. So, but I'm just getting all my clothes organized and getting it all set up and kind of bringing some of the winter stuff up, because it's, you know, it's definitely not going to get cold in Florida, but it's starting to cool off to where I can wear some different styles. So that's going to be fun too. Anyways, I'm going to go and deal with the insurance and then deal with the government, and I'm just going to have a miserable afternoon while sorting clothes. So, and then next 2 days is going to be working on doors, getting one job done, which once I get payment on that, it covers me for like 2-3 months of bills. And then I got one door I'm going to do probably this weekend. So, and then the next job I think is next Thursday, and then after that there shouldn't be any more stuff. Maybe some windows in October that I've already told them I should go help them on, but it's like a 1 day in and out to be done by lunchtime. So, but from here on out, it's pretty much well, I should say starting next week, it's pretty much going to be getting ready for the flea market. And not this weekend, but next weekend I should be at the flea market. Unless it's pouring down rain, I don't see anything other than rain or medical issues on why I won't be at the flea market. Not this weekend, but the following weekend. So yeah, I'm in a good mood. Like that garage sale from a few days ago, that has like reinvigorated me. Like I'm like ready to get started and ready to do. I'm ready to buy more storage units, which I'm not going to until I make room. But I'm making room so I can buy more shit. So, but yeah, very nice looking woman right there. Wow. Anyways, I'm gonna go and do a bunch of paperwork. Peace, love, money. I'm out.